I was in the car one day, stopped at a light in Baton Rouge, and I looked in the rearview mirror, and I saw a Jeep, and it had 4 teenage boys in it, looked like maybe 16, 17 years old. They were pointing, they were talking, and they were plotting. And I knew what the plan was, because at home I had 16 and 17-year-old teenage boys, and they had a Jeep together. So I knew what the plan was. And the plan was that at the next red light, that Jeep was going to come from behind me, was going to pull up alongside of me, and the boys in that car were going to hit on the blonde in the convertible. Now you see, they hadn't seen my face yet, so they didn't know that I was old, because see, from the back I looked pretty good, actually. And that's really all they could see, was from the back. So I waited. I thought, okay, this can be a depressing moment, or this, I can have some fun with this. So I decided to have fun. So sure enough, we get to the next light, they pull up alongside of me. Now, I knew what they were doing in the back, and it is what they were doing. They were plotting. They were coming up with a line. They were coming up with a line that they could use on the blonde in the convertible. And the line that they chose to come up with was this one. Well, hello there. Have you got the time? Now, I thought that's pretty good. You know, if you're 16, 17, that's pretty good. But they didn't plan on it being me in the driver's seat. So I had my sunglasses in place, so I waited until they pulled up alongside of me, and then this is what happened as I took off my sunglasses. The boy in the, on the passenger side, he was designated the hitter, so he was going to deliver the line. So remember, the line is supposed to be, well, hello there, have you got the time? So here's what happened. So they pull up, and this boy begins to speak, and I take off my sunglasses and turn to him, and this is what I hear. Well, hello there. Have you got the time, ma'am? The driver of the Jeep repeated some words that I will not repeat in polite company. One of the boys in the back sank down real low, and the other boy in the back pulled his baseball cap way far over his face, and I heard him say, "Oh my God, I think she knows my mom." So the hitter, the kid in the passenger seat, he was busy looking at me, I guess because he knew the other thing wasn't going to work out. So he was busy looking not at me, but at my car. And he said, in all honesty, he said, "Oh, ma'am, that is such a fine car. I would love to have a car like that." I said, "Well, maybe one day you can." He said, "Oh, no." He said, "My mom would never let me have a car like this." I said, "Well, it doesn't have to be up to your mom." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, look at it this way. You get out of high school, you go to college or a trade school, you learn to do something. You learn to do something productive. You learn to add value where somebody's going to give you a paycheck every 2 weeks for going to work and doing a good job. And then part of that paycheck you sock away, and then eventually you're going to have enough money saved up to buy a car." He said, "I never thought of that." So then the light turned green, and right before I pulled away, on behalf of grandparents and parents everywhere, I said, "Play your cards right, and you can drive a car like this one day too, sonny." And then I floored it, and I left them in the dust. Now, you know, kids talk, and about 3 days later, Stephen came up to me and he said, "Mom, did you meet some of my friends in a Jeep at a stoplight?" And he said, "Mom, you can't do that anymore. You just, you know, I live in this town too, you can't do that anymore." So, find some ways to make your job fun. I know what you do is hard work. Find some ways to make it fun, to have an opportunity to laugh at yourself, to feel good about what you do. Because you know, we only go around once, we might as well get it right the first time. So decide which book you want to be. You get to decide what kind of leader you want to be. Choose well and choose wisely. Thank you very much for staying. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.